Hi there.
Hey, we have got another really great question. And again, we just want to thank you for sending in your questions. This has been
It's been
so
fun.
great for
Yeah.
us to be able to read these and be able to answer them. So I hope it's really been of help to you too. So we have a great question. It says, our family will eventually be expanding with a son in law. Congratulations. When our children get married, we also inherit the family of our child's spouse. Sometimes the culture between the two families is very different. How do you reconcile that so you stay true to who you are, but embrace the other family for who they are, and most importantly, make it comfortable for your child and her spouse to be a part of both families that build a life together? Well, this is a great question, and it sounds like you're really anticipating getting to know your son-in-law's family, which is great. We are in that season of our lives too. We have a beautiful daughter-in-law, and we have got to know her family. I think what would be a really healthy perspective is to think of this in terms of how of keeping healthy boundaries between that family and your family, and also think in terms of your future son-in-law and your daughter. How much are they wanting both families to be involved with one another, and how much is healthy and how much isn't? So, for example, when my husband and I got married, our parents lived in different states. And so they've seen each other maybe a handful of times over 33 years. They saw us at our graduation from college because Mark and I graduated from the same college. And I think they have seen each other maybe at a few birthday gatherings for our kids over the years, and that's been really it. So every family's different. For my daughter-in-law, we live in the same town as her family, so we see each other occasionally at Christmas time. We'll see each other occasionally at church, but we don't get together on a regular basis. I'm sure once we start having grandchildren, we will see each other more, but we've really let our son and our daughter-in-law make that determination. It was up to them to bring the families together when and how it worked for them. It wasn't something that Mark and I took on
Mhm.
or that her family took on for us all to kind of be one big happy family. So, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, I just think that I think it's really important that you and your husband talk about what that looks like for you. And I don't necessarily feel like that. It's always going to be where, like, if we had children that married,
Yeah.
like Julie and I are good friends, but if we weren't good friends, then it wouldn't be something that we would necessarily want
Right.
to, I
Yeah.
think of Christmas as spending that with either really close friends or obviously close family. So those are the things that I think that you have to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't spend it with somebody that I'm not really close to. So for example, with my husband and I, kind of the same thing. My mom and dad, which my dad is not here any longer, and my father-in-law is not either, but when they were for years and years, they only saw each other a handful of
Mm-hmm.
times as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of seemed to be, it's easy, and it's there's no unrealistic expectation, for my family and his family and that sort of thing. I think you just realize they're an entity, and they're an entity, and you're a new family, and then you figure out what it is
Yeah.
when you want to spend with your in-laws and when you want to spend it with your family.
Right. Right. That's
I
it.
think that's just kind
Yeah.
of simple.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And let
So,
them work it out. You don't have to.
yeah. And this is your first time, so you'll figure it out. Just
Yeah.
kind of navigate through it, and
Yeah.
just make sure everybody's staying healthy, and because you really want to give your son-in-law and daughter the best possible support and encouragement you
Mm-hmm.
can. So just make sure everybody's keeping the lines of communication open and keeping those boundaries really healthy.
And actually, when you're saying that, Julia, this is what I'm thinking is that my kids are not married, but going back to our marriage, the one thing that Alex and I never have really had to, I don't want to say deal with, but we've never had to really encounter with either sides of our family is that his family didn't really have unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
They didn't call us and say, "Now you're coming home for Thanksgiving this year, right?" Or my family, "Okay, it's our Christmas this year, right?" They realized that we were a married couple and a
Mm-hmm.
married family when we had kids. So they waited on us to say, hey, we want to come there for Thanksgiving. Is that okay? Or we want to stay there for Christmas, or we're going to stay at home for Christmas. So we never really had that pressure. So if you have kids that are married, I would say don't put that pressure on them, because they really need to create their own traditions and what their family needs to look like, and let it be just an excited surprise when they want to come over and visit with you.
Yeah, that's like the best advice you could give anybody. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's kind of like parenting.
Yeah.
When you don't have kids, you have the best advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us again, and we'll see you the next time.